right? Concentration dependence or effect of concentration on weak electrolytes. Effect of concentration on weak electrolytes. Right, the first point. What will happen as we decrease the concentration or as we dilute the solution? What will happen? The alpha, the degree of dissociation will start to increase, right? Will start to increase, and then hence the okay. Did we do this? I feel like we have done this also. Effect of concentration on weak electrolyte. Look at your notebook now. If you have done this. Fatima, Nazir, or someone, effect of, did we write something like this?
Yeah, we wrote degree of dissociation will increase with increase in dilution for weak electrolyte, and for strong electrolyte, we wrote 2 subheadings like that.
Okay, we have done the effect of
affecting electrolytic conductance.
Okay, so weak electrolytes we have done. We just have to look at the relationship between the degree of dissociation and lambda m. So write that. Relationship between alpha and lambda m. Okay, alpha and lambda m. Now, alpha, we have alpha and this is lambda m, right? So alpha is equal to the lambda m divided by lambda naught m. This is the molar conductivity. This is the molar conductivity at standard condition. That is, the concentration is equal to 1 molar. Okay, and this is the molar conductivity at concentration m. That means if we take any concentration m and we have the molar conductivity of that concentration and the lambda naught from the literature that we can take, and from there we can derive or we can determine the approximate the degree of dissociation. Okay, we can approximate the degree of dissociation. Now, this can be done experimentally. Okay, this can be done experimentally because we will calculate the molar conductivity experimentally, and this we can get from the literature and textbook, that is lambda m, because it is calculated only once, right? For example, if I have acetic acid CH3 COOH, this is a weak electrolyte, and for this weak electrolyte, in the previous example we have calculated its lambda naught m, right? We have calculated na lambda naught m. Tell me the last example that we did. Okay, now you must be thinking, sir, we have to calculated HCA, na? HCAC, right? So this is acetic, this is acetate ion. Acetate ion is CH3COO negative, and this H is H positive. So this will make what? CH3COOH. Okay, so in the last example, what we did, we calculated the or determined the molar conductivity Yes. See, or not see where your chapters are very less, and I also don't want to do much of the term 2 syllabus until your term 1 is done. Okay, so that is why right now your some of the hours will be decreased, and we will continue like this only. Will that be fine?
Sir, and when the class will be ended? 3 o'clock?
Today it will be for 1 hour. Okay, today it's for 1 hour because we will complete the chapter. This is the last portion which is there from your syllabus. After this is there is electrolysis. For electrolysis, I have prepared the PPT, so you don't have to note it down. I will send you the PPT. Okay.
Okay.
Just it is approximately 10-15 minutes, and then we will complete the chapter according to the CBSE syllabus for this year. Okay. Just let me know, Nabir. We calculated the lambda naught M for CS3COOH in the last example. The thing is now I don't have this is the OneNote, but I didn't teach you in OneNote on Wednesday. I taught you over Zoom only. That's why it is not saved. But I remember we did some example of lambda naught M.
Sir, we did one question of calculate lambda naught M for HAC.
HAC, na? Okay, so let me
Yeah,
just tell
one
you what
question only.
HAC, na? HAC. So what is this AC? AC is acetate. Acetate ion is CH3COO negative. What is hydrogen? Hydrogen is just as positive. So if you mix these two, CH3COOH. So this is your acetic acid. So in the last class, what we did, we calculated the lambda naught M. That is the molar conductivity at, or the limiting molar conductivity at 1 molar concentration. Okay. Oh, sorry. This is not, concentration will be equal to 0. This is not 1 molar. Concentration will be 0. Dilution is infinity. Dilution is equal to infinite. Okay. Now, we calculate the limiting molar conductivity of acetic acid. After that, please write a note here. Lambda M, that is molar conductivity at some concentration, can be determined experimentally. And after that, we have lambda naught M of weak electrolyte can be determined theoretically by using the lambda naught of the ions. Okay, of the ions. Via which law? Via Colrosh law. Okay, till here we have done. Okay, till here we have done in the sense that in the example that we solved, we calculate the lambda naught M from the independent lambda naughts of the individual ions from Colrosh law. Now, if you have calculated the alpha, then you must remember there is a relationship between the dissociation constant or the equilibrium constant, that is K, and the dissociation constant, which is alpha. This is equal to C alpha square 1 minus alpha. This is from equilibrium. You remember this? From equilibrium. You have never seen this formula?
No, sir, not.
You have never seen this formula. What about others? Ahmed,
No, sir, no.
Amalia, Fatima, Nazira, anyone? Yes, Amalia, Nazira. Fatima is also not here. Okay. Acha. Do you know what is this K? K is your equilibrium constant. Okay. What is alpha? Alpha is degree of dissociation. And the C here is the concentration. Okay. C here is concentration. Okay. Just look at it now. I will derive just after this. I will derive how we get the equilibrium constant as C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. Okay. Now let us substitute value of alpha in above equation. In above equation, if we include the value of alpha, it will be equal to what? K will be equal to C. Now alpha square will be lambda m square upon lambda naught m square divided by 1 minus lambda m upon lambda naught m. Now what we can do here is we can take this lambda naught m square in the denominator, and in the numerator it will be C into lambda m square. On here we will have lambda naught m square 1 minus lambda m upon lambda naught m. Now further we can simplify this. This will be C lambda m square, and here we can solve this as lambda naught m square. Here we will get lambda naught m minus lambda m. Right? Any doubt till here? The whole divided by lambda naught m. Now from here, this one lambda naught and this square can be eliminated, and this will be C lambda m square 1 lambda naught m to lambda naught m minus lambda m. Okay. So write the final equation, that is K is equal to C lambda m square 1 lambda naught m into lambda naught m minus lambda m. Okay, start writing from here.
So can you scroll a little down?
Sir,
Yes, Ahmed.
since you don't want to continue term 2 portion, can we at least do the revision for term 1?
I'm not saying that I will not continue with the term 2 syllabus. I'm saying that we will do term 2, but not in the same pace as we did the term 1. We will not be giving that much time for the term 2 syllabus. Okay, so we will be reducing the hours as of now. And what you are saying? Revision?
Revision for term 1 portion. Yeah.
Yes, sir, revision.
Revision.
Since it will be multiple choice questions, so the options might be complicated, and if you are not very through with the questions, then you might get trapped with those options and get wrong. So
you need practice now.
yes, sir, and MCQ questions.
Exactly. You need just those MCQs practice now.
Yes, sir.
So see, revision. So I hope you are not thinking of something like I will be teaching the topics, right?
No, sir, not teaching us the topic, but the
But the
revision.
MCQs.
Yeah.
So okay, then what we can do is I can send you the MCQs as assignments. Then you can do it. If you will have doubt, then we can discuss them in class. It seems like that will not work for you guys. Ahmed is fine. Okay. So yes, MCQs we can send. No? Achha, that doesn't work for you, Ahmed. Does it work for you? It won't work for me. Why? Why it won't work for you? Abir, are you done? So you have to make yourself study now. Let me know, Abir, if you're done, okay? Then we will derive the equation that is K is equal to C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha.
Yes, sir. Done.
Done? What about others? Amalia, Fatima, Nazira? So you have to work on that, Ahmed. You have to work on that. That is not a reason.
Yes, sir.
If Fatima is not done,
Done,
Fatima,
sir.
you want me done?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So this is equilibrium class 11th. Just to revise here a bit. For example, we have CH3, COOH. So this will dissociate into CH3, COO negative plus H positive. Now at initially, let us say T is equal to 0. So initially this is concentration with C concentration. This will be 0 and this will be 0 because we have not started, I mean, nothing has been started as of now. And let's say after some time, T is greater than 0. After some time, what will happen? From this concentration C, a fraction of CH3COOH will be dissociated. Okay, a fraction, that means what? For example, if I have, let us say this concentration here is 2 molar. Right, 2 molar into the fraction. How will we calculate fraction? We will calculate the fraction by multiplying this 2 into the dissociation degree of dissociation. Degree of dissociation or dissociation constant. Okay, so this will be 2 molar into whatever the alpha is. Okay, whatever the alpha is. That means we can write this as 2 molar is what? 2 molar is the concentration into alpha, and this alpha is always what we have seen, that alpha is less than 1, right? So alpha lies between 0 to 1. So if we have for 2 molar and let us say alpha is equal to, let us say 0.2. So what we will get? We will get 2 into 0.2. So this will be 0.4. So this will be 4 by 10, right? Now, in the same way, a fraction of CH3COOH will be dissociated to CH3COO negative and H positive, right? Now, how to calculate that fraction? That fraction can be calculated as C into alpha. C into whatever the alpha of that particular electrolyte is. So C minus C alpha will give you the fraction that has been dissociated. If C alpha has been dissociated, that means this will be formed as C alpha and this will be also formed as C alpha. Now, you will calculate the equilibrium constant, that is K. So K will be the concentration of the product, that is C alpha into C alpha divided by the concentration of the reactant, that is C minus C alpha. Now this will be equal to C square alpha square, and upon this will be equal to what? This will be 1 to C minus, oh no, sorry, C into C minus alpha. C into 1 minus alpha. Now this will be equal to C, and C can be eliminated, and this will be C into alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. So this is your formula for equilibrium constant of weak electrolyte with concentration C and the degree of dissociation, that is alpha square. If you want to copy this, then you can copy this too.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is C alpha? C alpha is the fraction of electrolyte dissociated. Okay, done. Okay. Nazira, Amalia, and Fatima, you also tell me if you're done. Abir, you too.
That I'm doing.
Okay. Nazira is done. Waiting for Abir, Amalia, and Fatima. Fatima, raise your hand if you're done. Okay. Amalia is also done. Just waiting for Abir now. Okay, Abir is also done. Let me start sharing a new screen. Now write the topic. Electrolysis. Okay, write the topic electrolysis. We have seen the electrochemical cell. Now this is what happens in the electrolytic cell. So in electrolytic cell, the same thing will happen. The chemical change will happen. That is either oxidation and reduction will happen. But here what is happening? We are giving the electricity. So electricity current is passed through the electrolytic solution is called electrolysis. And the difference here is what? We are converting the electrical energy to chemical energy. Okay. So we are giving some electricity to electrolytic solution, that is electrolytes, and those electrolytic solution, the parts of it, the components of electrolytic solution, they are undergoing oxidation and reduction, and they are forming product. Okay, so the chemical change occurring at the when electric current is passed through electrolytic solution is called electrolysis.
So we have to write this.
No, don't write this. Okay, don't write this, but see the example, and that will help you guys. Now, for example, I will need a few of you to answer me some things. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We have this container. In this, we can fill water. We can put 2 electrodes. After the electrodes, we will put the wire and a battery. Now, why we are putting a battery? Because we will be giving electricity. Okay, we are not generating electricity now. What we are doing, we are providing electricity to the components. Okay. Now we have a positive charge here, right? We will have a negative charge here. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the solution that we have is of molten NaCl. Now, if it is molten NaCl, it will have Na positive ions and Cl negative ions. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now, if you have a negative charge here, okay, if you have negative charge here, that means the electrons will be this side.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Now,
So
if
it will
electrons on
attract
this side,
positive.
sorry.
So it will attract positive like Na plus.
Yeah, exactly. It will attract the positive, that is Na positive, right? And Na positive will move this way. Cl negative will move that way. Now, if Na positive will be eating the electrons, so the reaction will be sodium positive plus electron. It is giving you sodium metal. Is this oxidation or reduction?
Oxidation.
Reduction?
Oxidation.
Sorry?
A
Gain of
reduction.
electron? Gain of
Reduction.
electron or फिर आप
Gain
लोग
of
कहाँ देख
electron.
gain of electron ना तो reduction not oxidation. Okay. Now if it is okay fine, this is reduction. Then if we have Cl negative, then that would be, this will be what, Nazira? Oxidation or reduction? Nazira? I cannot hear anything, Nazira. Abir, you tell me. What would be this?
Sir, which left side?
Yes.
Sir,
Chlorine.
oxidation.
Oxidation. Yes, loss of electron, right? So this will be oxidation. Okay. Now tell me the anode and the cathode. Which will be anode and which will be cathode?
Na will be an.
Na will be anode, right? Very good. अरे
No?
जहाँ oxidation,
Yeah,
oxidation is anode. Okay,
Yes.
oxidation is anode. Let me erase this part. So this is cathode. This is the negative charge. Anode, cathode, oxidation, reduction. Now moving on. So what are the products that will be formed if we have molten NaCl? The products will be sodium in the cathode, and we will have sodium at the cathode and chlorine gas. This will be gas. Okay, if chlorine is getting
Yeah.
here, it will give out some gas bubbles like this. Okay, so some gas bubbles will be floating like this. Now sodium ion will be getting deposited here. So let me show sodium at, how should I show? So some extra sodium metal is getting deposited in this side. But this is easy. If this chapter was, if this topic was there in your syllabus, then you would be asked to tell the products of electrolysis, whether it is sodium or chlorine gas, which of them are. So molten, you don't have anything to worry about. But whenever you have an aqueous solution, now in aqueous solution, you will have the same things, but here you will have sodium chlorine ions also. So this may also move to the electrodes like this. But you have H positive and OH negative ion that may also move, and we have water also. But the thing is that, for example, if we have aqueous NaCl, so this is neutral, right? It is not neither acidic nor basic. So for the Kw of pure water is equal to 10 to the power minus 14. That means the concentration of H plus is equal to 10 to the power minus 7 molar, and the concentration of OH negative is also how much? 10 to the power minus 7 molar. That is when the pH is equal to 7. Okay, for pure water, the concentration of H plus and OH negatives are very low, right? The concentration of H plus and OH negatives are very low, but we have water, it is present in high amount. Water will be present in high amount. The H plus is less because we have H2O getting dissociated to H plus and OH negative. So this reaction is slow. Okay, but this reaction we will have plenty of H2O. So that means sodium plus ion will be competing with H2O, and Cl negative ion will also have a competition with H2O. That means there can be two reactions. Okay, there can be two reactions, and which will be preferred? Which will be preferred? So remember this point. Okay, anode, cathode is there. In anode, which reaction will take place? Whose oxidation potential is higher will get oxidized, and at cathode, the species whose reduction potential is higher, that will get reduced. As simple as that. The oxidation potential is higher, then that will be oxidized. If reduction potential is higher, then cathode will be reduced. Now let's just look at what are the options that we have. Now, if we have electrolysis of water, now we will look at the electrolysis of water. What are the reactions that can happen at anode and cathode? So at cathode, water can react and it will gain 2 electrons. It will form H2 gas and OH negative ions. Okay, it will eat up electrons, form H2 gas and OH negative ions at cathode. Now, if it is at anode, it will be liberating electrons, and this is the reaction that will happen. Okay, H2O, this half it will give oxygen. So when it is at cathode, it is giving hydrogen. When it is at anode, it is giving oxygen. Now, these two reactions will also be taking place with the reaction that is sodium positive plus electron giving you sodium metal. Okay, now the competition will be between this reduction and this reduction. And for anode, we had the oxidation that is 2Cl negative giving you Cl2 plus 2 electron, right? So we will be having a competition between the reduction of H2O and the oxidation of H2O and the oxidation of chlorine. Oxidation of H2O and the oxidation of chlorine. Now for that, we have to compare the E naughts, right? For that, we have to compare the E naughts. Hence, for 1 molar aqueous NaCl solution, why we have taken 1 molar here? Because we have to maintain the E naught. Now this E naught is only for 1 molar, that is standard. Okay. So if we have 1 molar aqueous NaCl solution, now the possible reaction at anode are, it can be oxidation of chlorine and it can be oxidation of water. The oxidation of chlorine has 1.36 minus 1.36, and the oxidation of water has minus 1.23. Now, which is higher here? Whose oxidation potential is higher? These are the oxidation potentials. Okay, these are the oxidation potentials. Which is higher, chlorine or water? Chloride ion or water? Chloride ion or water? No one is saying, अरे आपको compare करना नहीं आ रहा? Can you please compare these two values?
Yes.
Minus 1 point, which is higher, which is greater?
H2, the second one.
Second one is greater.
Yes.
Correct? Second one is greater. Okay. That means this oxidation should take place. Okay. This oxidation should take place, but the preferred reaction that the scientists saw was of chlorine. Now, why that chlorine? They gave a few reasons why chlorine should be there. They said that, see, since the EMF difference in EMF is not very high, and we have chlorine and we have water. Now you tell me you have chlorine negative and you have H2O. Which of them will move faster toward the positive charge, a neutral species or a negatively charged species? Which will move faster? Negatively charged, okay? Negatively charged, that means the kinetics of this reaction, the movement of chlorine negative chloride ions, it is faster than H2O. And since the EMF difference is not very much high, okay? If the EMF difference was very much high, then obviously H2O reaction would have been taken place. But since here chlorine is moving faster and the EMF difference in EMF is not very high, that is why the chlorine reaction is preferred. And this is the same thing that we have written here. Due to the high concentration of chlorine and the negative charge. Okay, those reasons. There are two reasons. The concentration of chlorine and the negative charge, it will be preferred since the difference in EMF is not high. Now, why it is happening? The reaction is chlorine is kinetically favored. That means speed of this reaction is high, or rate of this reaction is high for chlorine ions, will move faster towards the positive charge. Now, if we want to move water in the same speed as the chlorine ions, we have to give extra voltage. Okay, extra voltage should be provided. Okay, extra voltage, and that voltage is known as the over potential. Okay, the extra potential that is required, it is known as over potential. Why we require the extra potential? To move water as fast as chlorine ion towards the positive end of the electrode. Okay, towards the positive electrode. Now that extra voltage is known as over potential.
Over potential.
Next, we have the possible reactions at cathode. The possible reaction at cathode will be of water eating up electrons, sodium eating up electrons. When water eats up electron, it will form the hydrogen gas. When sodium eats up electron, it will form sodium metal. Now, if we compare these two, then okay, yeah, tell me which is higher, which is greater.
H2.
H2 is greater. Okay, and the EMF difference is also very high,
Yes, sir.
right? So if EMF difference is very high, that means what will happen? The H2O reaction will be taking place. Okay, so although here the concentration of sodium ion may be more and it can move also faster, but the EMF difference is very high. If the EMF difference is very high, hydrogen gas will be formed at the cathode, and this is the preferred reaction at the cathode. Now, just to summarize everything for molten NaCl and aqueous NaCl. So for molten NaCl, it is very much easy. We have chlorine and we have sodium. So chlorine will be taking part in the oxidation at anode, and sodium will be eating up the electron. Sodium positive will be eating up the eating up the electrons at the cathode. The products will be chlorine gas and sodium metal. But in aqueous NaCl, we have seen that chlorine is preferred at anode, but at the cathode, hydrogen is preferred at the cathode. Okay, so the products will be chlorine gas and the hydrogen gas, chlorine gas and the hydrogen gas. Okay, so these are the points for electrolysis. This is the what we can say as qualitatives. Okay, qualitative analysis of electrolysis. There is also one more portion in which you have H2SO4 sulfuric acid. Okay, in which we have sulfuric acid. Now, if you have aqueous sulfuric acid, now the sulfuric acid can be concentrated or dilute. That is the only two cases. Now, when we have sulfuric acid, we have H2SO4. Right, H2SO4 will give you what? H plus SO4 2 negative. Now we have already so much of H plus. We can get H plus from the water also. We can get H plus from the H2SO4. That means there is no competitor for H plus ions. Okay, so H plus ions is the only one which will be getting reduced. That is, they will be eating the electrons, and because there is no other competitor. But let us look at what will happen if we have concentrated and dilute solution. That is the reaction at the anode. The reaction at the anode can be of water. Let me just raise these parts. It can be of water or SO4 2 negative. So these are the products. Now, if we have dilute solution, then this reaction will be preferred. Okay, for dilute. If we have concentrated solution, this will be preferred for concentrated solution, because as we know, these SO4 2 negatives concentration will increase. Here also the EMF difference is not very high. So the EMF is not the only factor which will determine the products at the anode. We will have to look at the concentration also. Now, if the concentration of sulfuric acid is low, SO4 2 negative ions will be less, and that is why the former reaction will be preferred. Okay, we have written the same thing here. For dilute sulfuric acid, former reaction is preferred, but at higher concentration, latter reaction is preferred, only due to the difference in the concentration. Okay, due to the difference in concentration. But as for cathode is considered, there is only one species, that is H plus. It will eat up electrons and it will form what? Hydrogen gas. Okay, there is no other competitor here. There is no other competitor. And so this is for aqueous sulfuric acid. Okay, now we have written that point also. We forgot. Let me erase this though. H plus, that is hydrogen gas, will be formed at cathode. Now then you have the Faraday's laws of electrolysis. Now Faraday's law of electrolysis are quite simple. So the first law says that the amount of chemical reaction, it tells you about how much product will be formed. So how much product will be formed? The amount of chemical reaction that occurs is proportional to the quantity of electricity that has passed through the electrolyte, the quantity of electricity. Okay, so the amount of product, simply you can say the amount of chemical reaction that occurs or the amount of product that is formed is directly proportional to the electricity, how much electricity you are passing. Now that can also depend on the ampere of electricity that you are passing, and it can also depend on the time that you are, for how much time you are passing the electricity, right? Now electricity, the formula for electricity is what? Q is equal to Arey bacha, Q is equal to what? Electricity. Amalia, Fatima, Nazira, anyone? Electricity you have in this 12th standard now.
Yes, sir.
So Q is equal to, there is a famous formula. Q is equal to
So
the
forgot
charge that you have, I into T. Do you remember it now? Q is equal to IT. Q is equal to, no. If we pass I amount of current in T time, we will get Q amount of electricity or Q amount of charge will be passed. No,
Yes,
don't.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I is in ampere. T is in
seconds.
seconds. Now ampere into seconds, they make up one another unit of. They make one another unit. Now what is that?
Coulomb.
Yeah, very good. Coulomb. Okay, so this will be measured in Coulomb. Okay, this will be measured in Coulomb. Q is equal to IT. Now, for example, let us take a simple example of Ag positive. If Ag positive is eating up electron, it will form Ag solid. Now we have to determine if we pass some amount of electricity, then how much Ag solid will be formed. Now from this chemical reaction, now from stoichiometry, you will say that for 1 mole of Ag solid, 1 mole of electron is needed. Yes or no? If we have to form 1 mole of Ag solid, we need 1 mole of electrons. Now, if I want to make 1 molecule of silver, I need 1 electron. If I need 1 mole of Ag solid, I want how much? 1 mole of electrons. Yes or no? No, I have to explain this further more.
No, sir.
No, right?
No, sir. It is clear.
What about others? Nazira, Fatima? One mole of Ag needs 1 mole of electron. Okay, 1 mole of Ag needs 1 mole of electron. Now we will calculate the charge on this 1 mole of electron. Okay, 1 mole of electron. So 1 mole of electron, it is equal to how much? That is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. This is the number mole inverse. This will be mole inverse into. We have the charge at electron is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, right? Now please calculate this now and tell me. You have 6.022 into 1.6 into 10 to the power 23 and 10 to the power minus 19. So you have 10 to the power 4, no? 10 to the power 4 coulomb per mole. Now.
So we have to write this?
No, just tell me and calculate and tell me. No, don't write anything. Just calculate and tell me.
So it's 9.6352.
9.6352.
52.
9.6352. Okay, into 10 to the power 4, this will be
96352.
okay. कुछ strike हुआ आप लोगों को. This is 1 Faraday, na? This is 1 Faraday. If, for example, if you would have taken 1.6, the exact charge is 1.602. Okay, 1.6021, I guess. If you would have taken the exact charge, we would have got the answer 96487 coulomb per mole. This is 1 Faraday. Okay, this is 1 Faraday of charge. That means I can again write the statement as 1 mole of current, 1 mole of Ag needs 1 Faraday of charge. 5.2 Fatima, how? We have 10 to the power 4 here now.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't put that 6 point.
Yeah, okay. 10 to the power 4 also is here. Okay. So this is how we calculate. Now, if let us okay, let me do an example. Let us see. Okay, we will solve small problem here. Let us say we have a solution of
So we have to write this.
no, just look at it. Okay, a solution of CuSO4 is electrolyzed for 20 minutes with a current of 3 ampere. Calculate the mass of Cu deposited. Okay, calculate the mass of Cu deposited. So how will we solve this? First of all, we will write the reaction which can take place. Okay, the reaction that can take place, that is, okay, let us first of all calculate the charge. Now we can calculate the charge. So charge will be equal to, that is Q is equal to I into T, right? I is how much? 3 ampere into, we have for 20 minutes now. So 20 minutes will be how much?
20 into 60.
20 into 60. So this will be how much? 6.
1,200.
How much?
1,200 into 3. 36,000. I mean 3,600.
3,600, no?
Yes, sir.
Nothing else? 3 to the 6 and 16 to 60 are 3,600. So 3,600, how much? 3,600 coulombs.
Yes, sir.
Now we have the reaction. Copper will be in Cu2 plus, because amount of copper deposited plus 2 electron. This will give you copper solid. Now 1 mole of copper needs how many mole of electrons? Needs how many mole of electrons?
2.
Yeah, very good. Needs 2 mole of electron. Okay, it needs 2 mole of electron. That means 1 mole of Cu needs 2 Faraday of charge of Q. Okay, Q or charge. That means 1 mole of copper needs 2 into 96500 coulomb of charge, right? 2 into 96500 coulomb of charge. Now, how many coulombs of charge do we have? 3600. 3600. So for 3600 coulomb of charge, amount of Cu formed is equal to, now if we have 2 into 96500, then we will form 1 mole. Okay, we will form 1 mole.
Divide.
That means, yes, you are saying something?
So we'll divide.
Yes, divide by what?
And what we have by what we should have.
What we have by what? We will divide 3600
Yeah, divide by 2
By
into
2
96500.
into 96500. Okay, so this is the coulomb, and this will be in coulomb per mole. Okay, because this is Faraday now. 1 Faraday is equal to 96500 coulombs per mole. This coulombs and coulombs will be cancelled out. The answer that you will get here is, so you remove these two, this and this will be about 18. So it will be 18 upon 965 moles. Now, if you want to calculate the mass, so mass will be 18 upon 965 into 63. Okay, this is the molar weight of copper. We will get then the in grams, what is the mass of copper that is deposited. Okay, so these are simple type of problems. Even if after some point of time, CBSE would be like, no, let us do once, let us include everything that we are having. If the corona is stopped, then we can also solve these questions. Okay, you have some light idea about what these questions would be, correct? Yes, guys, what happened? Yes, na? So these are easy examples, easy problems that we can solve. If CBSE somewhere in time, it decides that it would include the syllabus. Okay.